world surrounded by franchises, reboots, and shared universes. An elite team of podcasters will risk body and soul to investigate the depths of intellectual properties, one multiverse, subgenre, and trend at a time. Who are we? We're the IP Squad.
Welcome back to the IP Squad and our ongoing investigation into the Hellraiser film series. I'm John Campbell, of course, my partner for this investigation, Elliott Lewis.
Hello, John. Last time on Hellraiser.
We do get boy, these were the days of that. I was just watching through, because no one's surprised I was doing this, all the Superman movies. And I gotta say, this one feels like a brisk after, like, Superman 2 takes like 10 minutes to recap Superman 1. Every single beat, I'm like, are you kidding me? Look, I know that we didn't have the ability to go back, particularly back then, but like, they really were like, you probably definitely missed all of this. And you're like, I'm not sure you needed all that recap. Yeah. This is a little bit, Andrew Robinson got a little pay for archive footage here, which I'm sure he was happy about.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But yes, this is Hellbound Hellraiser 2, from that weird thing of putting a new, what would be a subtitle, but now it's a front.
Yes.
And this came out but 1 year later in 1988. Always a sign that we're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I think that this is the final product is, I think, really good for that. Like, I've seen way worse sequels that came out way sooner. So like, it's maybe not amazing, but it's
a step down from the first movie for sure, but
100%.
It is still pretty watchable, and there's a couple of really good moments in it. And there's at least the other thing I think that will, going forward, and I don't really know what to expect past this so much. I know you do. But like, this does feel like the second story of this, and I feel like going forward it's just going to be like, I don't know, this thing.
We are going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
I think there's one that has a bit of a tenuous connection. But basically everything else, because like we discussed briefly in the previous episode, a lot of these movies were different movies,
right? And
then the studio was like, oh shit, we need to make a Hellraiser movie. Do we have something?
Yeah, well,
and so it's just a movie happens, and then Pinhead shows up.
Right. This at least is still, because I mentioned last week that I had watched Leviathan, which is the documentary about the making of the first two movies. So I watched the second part of that, which most of it is the first movie. It was just a little bit at the end that's about the second one. But they do talk about the process of this. And this is still at the point where they go, hey, Clive Barker, do you have an idea for a sequel? Before it eventually just becomes like, I don't care. We're just going to make another one. It doesn't matter what Clive Barker thinks. And
they'll go, hey, do you have an idea for this? And he'll be like, stop calling me. Yeah. I don't care.
I changed my number. How did you get this?
Like, how did you get this number?
He's trying to run from New World Cinema. Because apparently, I mean, the reason it came out so fast is they were in editing on the first one, and the studio was like, hey, and it was playing well in test screenings. And they were, and they literally said, it was like, they came and they go, we think we have our Nightmare on Elm Street. This is something we can make forever. And sadly, though they don't do it, that does kind of end up happening. There are more Hellraisers than there are Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Yes, that is true.
They're like, I think 8. 8 or
There
9,
are
if you count the remake.
10. Oh, God damn it. Hellworld is 8. I'm going to do this every week. Hellworld is 8.
Yeah.
Revelations is 9.
There are 11.
Judgment is 10.
There are
The reboot
11
is
of
11.
these,
Yeah.
having done the list, and I think there are 8 or 9
Yes.
Elm Streets. But
Oh, okay. I
was-
did not realize Elm Street got into those numbers too.
Well, I think because you have to, if you count the remake, I think it gets to 9 maybe. Because New Nightmare is unnumbered, but I believe that was 7.
What was 5 and the last one I remember is 4.
4 was what? Dream Child or
Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors, and then there's also Dream Child and Dream Master.
Christ's sake.
And then there's New Nightmare, and then they did the remake.
Right. And then they did the remake,
Which is
like
abysmal.
20 years later.
Sorry to spoil that eventual episode of Meet the Slashers, but I fucking hate that remake so
wild.
much.
It sucks.
Do you want to see great practical effects redone as shitty CG effects? Watch.
Boy, have we got a movie for you.
Yeah. Aside from Jackie Earle Haley, who's going hard in it as Krueger, I'll give him that because I love that guy.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to be on this episode, but so here's my opinion on the movie. I think he gets a little too pathetic. He's not scary enough for me.
Well, they because they really lean into the backstory and origins and stuff in it, which is actually is a good way to bring us into this movie because this definitely feels like this is classic sequel stuff, right? Where it is just like we have a little bit more money, we can go a little bigger, and we're gonna start doing lore. And I do think that robs some of the atmospheric stuff we liked about the first movie, where everything is just spooky and unclear, and if anything, the vagary kind of makes it scarier.
Seeing Doug Bradley with his thinning hair and his dorky face without the makeup in the like BDSM gear, it really doesn't really do it for me.
No, it's a weird thing. I mean, it's a classic thing of the more you come to understand something, the less scary it is. And that usually is the case with all of these slashers. We don't count Pinhead as a slasher, but like he's definitely in the era of those guys. Right. There's a reason we didn't do this on Meet the Slashers, and we're doing it as an IP Squad season. But he similarly is in the same conversation as those guys. Like, Freddy becomes funny because not only is Robert Englund good at doing that, but it's just like by the third, fourth, fifth movie, I mean, it's sort of a thing. It's and I always will bring it back to Star Trek, but it was a problem with the Borg on Star Trek. Eventually, was the scariest villain was like. Well, when you start beating them every other week, they don't seem that scary anymore, do they?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, if you're going to have something be this like looming threat, then it kind of has to get beaten once and then not be a looming threat anymore. But when it's popular, you can't really like get away with that. And
I will say this movie is not as much of the Pinhead show as I was thinking it was going to be.
No, he is. I think definitely has more lines and screen time than the first movie. But
I mean, the movie starts with his origin,
yes,
which is cool. I mean, the imagery is cool. Seeing the pins pounded into his head is pretty gnarly, and I was like, okay. I'm not sure it adds a ton. I'm not sure. I'm like, well, now I see.
Unfortunately, like. It seemed to me to be used more as a device to like plant the seed of, the Cenobites are like you can make.
Right.
The Cenobites are made.
Right.
And that sort of plants the seed in your head for like, when Dr. Chenard gets, taken into hell by Julia, and it's like, oh shit, he's going to be a new Cenobite. Which I'm not saying that was like good, but
right.
But because using Pinhead like that and then not really getting into or not utilizing him a ton was probably a mistake.
Well, from what I gather, reading about it and watching a little bit, there was sort of a push and pull between Barker really saw the trajectory of the franchise being that the God, I'm forgetting every single character's name. Julia would end up being the big bad of the whole thing, that she would rise to being the main villain of the franchise. And the studio was like, no, more Pinhead. Pinhead sells toys. Pinhead sells posters, you know? And so
Which,
I think
like,
there's a
classic,
push and pull here.
God forbid a woman do anything.
I mean, it is quite telling that the female Cenobite is just called the female Cenobite. It's not good. Like, even calling, you know, it's, I mean, we don't, it need not even be said. You all know what we're saying. So I do think there's some of that here where, like, this thing has to keep going back to Pinhead, even though, like, it doesn't really. I mean, I do think it's very interesting that the original plan was to even bring Andrew Robinson back in this. And he said according to him, he turned it down because he thought the script was junk. Other people say they may not have offered him enough money. Up for debate. Could be a bit of both. I'm not going to be in that script for that little money. That kind of stuff happens.
Right. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like,
he also, I think, it was according to him too. He goes, "Didn't I die in the last one?" And they're like, "No, we've got a writer." And he's like, "I don't fucking come on." I gotta go be a Cardassian on Star Trek. I don't. That'll give me.
And get paid weekly.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good money if you can get on one of those. They were doing 26 a season back then.
Delicious.
Yeah, that's nice work if you can get it. Yes. So I do think the other thing that just sounds like is everybody was like, this movie's great. It needs a sequel. And kind of nobody had a particularly clear idea as to what that would be. Barker, it seemed like, had some loose ideas, and then kind of when those didn't get taken, he was just kind of like, I'll just sort of sit over here.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like, the what's going on in this movie doesn't make, like, a ton of sense.
No, I will say,
like,
the first one is, like, vague on purpose, and it kind of works for the movie. This one, there are parts when I had to be like, no, wait a minute, what is the thing with the guy in the... Okay. Yeah. You just kind of have to surrender to the movie at a certain point. Just go like, yeah, I'm not going to follow everything in this, am I?
No, which, of course, starts with retconning the end of the movie.
Yes.
The first movie.
Yes.
Within the first 5 minutes or so.
Yeah. Always a good decision. It's like, well, we want to make this movie this. Well, that doesn't really fit with the end of the last movie. We'll just change it. Yeah. Does anyone remember?
Brought Kirsty instead of Steve, real dickbag move here. Like, brought Kirsty to an asylum and was like, I don't even know, man. You take her.
By the way, this almost feels like it should be banned in horror movies now, is the sequel that's set in an asylum. It is just so oft used, where it's like the survivors of the first movie have now been committed to some kind of creepy asylum. It's like, yeah.
And sure, in the late 80s, it maybe wasn't as
not
obvious.
Yeah, maybe at this point not as much, but it's certainly, I mean, it becomes the case. I mean, it becomes like, you mentioned the Dream Warriors, that is the case.
It's true. Yeah, but looking back, like, watching it back is like, wow, this feels so trite.
Yeah. And of course, wouldn't you know it, the main doctor at the place happens to be obsessed with the Cenobites and, like, weird occult shit.
The Marchand box, and has pictures of Pinhead in his binder.
You always get the sense that Steve brought Kirsty there and he was like, ooh, thank you.
Finally.
Yeah. I've been waiting. I knew this would happen. Because he's all in. Oh, I mean, I'll give Kenneth Cranham, who plays Channard in this. He's all in.
Yeah, he's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
No, he does play this like outwardly seemingly compassionate doctor, but, like, you can kind of tell that just under the surface he's a huge asshole.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy plays it really well.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I don't think anybody's particularly bad in this, acting wise. Everybody's doing what's being asked of them. This movie is directed, we should mention, by Tony Randall, not that Tony Randall, Tony Randell, I guess you could even say, who was the editor of the first movie.
I see.
Yeah, and so they were just like, give it to Tony. And I will say,
give it to Tony. He knows what's going on.
Oh God, I saw his movie Children of the Night that he also directed, which is a horrible vampire movie we covered on Meet the Monsters. Really weird attempt to almost kind of do Clive Barker-y vampires, where everything is a lot like the vampires come to life in like sacks of goo and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a film. I believe it was the first feature film produced by Fangoria, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But this guy was primarily an editor. And he edited Escape from New York. I mean, he's
shit.
yeah, I mean, he was a good editor, and then they were like, yeah, whatever, man, you direct this one.
What could go wrong? Honestly, it's not too bad.
No, it's really, I mean, it's like I said, it definitely does feel like the second movie to that first movie in a lot of ways. It does lean way harder into the magic stuff. I mean, by the end of the movie, I'm going like, this is as much a fantasy film as it is a horror movie, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's again, it's gonna get worse.
No, that's the thing where I just go like, man, we go so hard into Cenobite lore so fast that I'm just like, God, there's 9 more movies to watch. I can't even, it just feels like this should be as big as it gets here, but yikes. I can only imagine. That's the thing. I guess it's not that this movie's bad, but I just did keep going like, I see. Because I know that the next one's the one where people go like, that's where the studio really takes over, and like they've got more money, but we've lost anything interesting or evocative is out the window.
Yeah, we're full into making discount bin Cenobites.
Right. Yeah.
In the next one,
we've entered the rinse and repeat model of these movies that for sure Friday the 13th became.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't think any of them cling to a formula the way that one did.
No, and like,
and I'm not sure this one does either, because as you said, like, these are different stories that they were, yeah.
It's definitely, I mean, right, the formula is something Pinhead, which, like, that's barely anything.
Well, I will say that there's a limitation to this story, I feel like, in terms of repetition, in that inevitably the way you get to the Cenobites will always have to be some variation of the same thing, which is somebody gets their hands on the puzzle box, somebody it does feel like even if they start out differently, each movie's going to kind of have to eventually get to the same place.
Right. And that
because like the end of this movie isn't that different than the end of the first movie, except for they've reversed it and now they're in hell or whatever, the dimensional thing where the Cenobites come from. So everything is bigger, but if you're actually looking at what everyone's doing, it's still kind of the same thing, which is we have to get back control of the puzzle box and put everything back.
Yeah, and yeah, it's hard to, like, I don't know, it's hard to know what to say. It's like, yeah, it's only, I just keep being like, yeah, and it's only gonna get worse from here.
I mean, when I said this is also a classic sequel thing, because it is like, this is classic, particularly I think of 80s sequels as being like the same but more. That's very much what's going on here.
Yes, this movie does raise the stakes quite considerably, again, because the presence of more more money to be able to do more stuff. But yeah, I mean, like we go to hell. Like it's harder. It's hard to raise the stakes higher than that.
But it is sort of. But I would definitely leave this going like, and there's another one. Like, what do you do? You've had hell come to Earth, and then you've had people go to hell. These kind of feel like the two options. I think the next one is called Hell on Earth, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
So that I guess there's.
But it's just different people going through it, right? Like that's what the formula becomes. Four is its own beast. Like I'm trying to remember it. Like we go back and forth in different timelines.
That's Bloodline is 4. Yeah,
Bloodline is.
Oh, I'm just gonna skip away from the 4 IMDb because I just saw that the description starts with in the 22nd century. So I'm just gonna move along. I was not ready for future setting.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
I also see we get to talk about baby Adam Scott in that. With his awful long 90s hair.
Awful.
Yeah, that's the same hair he had when he was on Boy Meets World. When Adam Scott was the bully on Boy Meets World. That's not strange casting at all. Him being, hey, nerd.
Hey, nerd.
You're Adam Scott. You're only slightly bigger than the main guy. Anyway, this movie, and the thing when I said like I can feel the thing about like, yeah, you definitely get the sense that he's whatever Barker's ideas. We're definitely trying to build those characters because I do think I think Claire Higgins is really good here as Julia and is having a blast being the supervillain in this one for as long as she is the supervillain.
Yeah, she is definitely eating it up.
Yeah, she gets the assignment here, and I think she's great. Kirsty is pretty boring. It's not the actress's fault. It's just
she's not.
And then by the time we're trying to rescue Tiffany, where it's like, if you thought Kirsty was boring, meet Tiffany.
I struggle with Tiffany because like I do think that she had a tall order. Like she had to act.
It's not.
She had to do this part with saying barely anything.
It's not even. It's not. It's. I'm not blaming the actors ever in this thing, because, boy, yeah. What is on the page for her?
What I don't know. It's nothing really.
It's just a lot of like.
I think
she's
she
moving
emotes,
stuff around and going.
Yeah, I think she emotes. Like her face is pretty emotive.
Sure. I think
but
Imogen Borman.
She
we
and
should
Kirsty
say.
Don't have a I don't know. Kirsty has a lot to do, but it doesn't feel like she has a lot to do.
No, because there's not much of a story for her. She's very action driven, but like weirdly for the movie that has her in an asylum, supposedly dealing with the effects of there's not a lot that actually is her reckoning with like the trauma of that. Here and there but it's when they do it, it's all very on the surface.
Yeah, because and I think that's partially because there's, like the story is more concerned with what's going on with Dr. Chenard and Julia.
Yeah,
which I do think is the more interesting.
Oh, big time!
Plot.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Unfortunately, Kirsty's the main character, so
this is
we have to pop back to her every once in a while.
Peter Atkins is the writer of this movie, who's another member of the Dog Company, which was Clive Barker's theater troupe, and he goes on to write this one, the next one, the fourth one. And then ends up the mastermind behind the Wishmaster series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of stuff is starting to make sense.
Yeah, he ends up being the Wishmaster guy.
How many of those was he involved with? Because
he only wrote the first one,
okay,
but then because there are 4 of those. Looks like.
Yep, there are.
Another one of those.
Guess who's seen all of those ones?
Yeah, I'm not shocked at all. Not shocked at all. That's a classic example, too, of Wes Craven presents Wishmaster.
Mm-hmm.
I learned young as a movie nerd to
That
be like,
doesn't mean shit.
yeah, just because Martin Scorsese presents something doesn't mean you're watching a Scorsese movie. Like,
Wishmaster is crazy. I think by the fourth one we're getting into, or no, the third one we're getting into like, this is an angel versus demons kind of thing.
Well, I see that Wishmaster 3 is called Beyond the Gates of Hell, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that is that one. Then.
Yeah.
And then 4 is a thinly veiled porno.
Oh, of course. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty common in horror filmmaking.
Yeah.
I will say this one does have a couple of the sexual stuff in this is pretty unsettling. The scene where Chenard is like fondling skinless Julia.
Okay, but it's important. It is so important that as to the story and Dr. Chenard's character arc that he can't like touch Julia until he has completely wrapped her up in bandages so that he doesn't touch her icky lady parts.
Yeah. That's right.
Because I gotta say, there is no hotter version of her than when she's wearing that suit and just like bleeding all over it and drinking champagne.
Yeah.
And he coward that he was.
Yeah,
unable to handle his own desires.
The
had to
idea,
wrap her up in bandages.
There is something so creepy about the way it's filmed, like any other sex scene or whatever. But every time he's just putting his hand on like the gauzy bandages of her body's curves and stuff, and it's just all like. And then I also love the beat where she's in the like nightgown. But when the camera pans behind her, you still see her back is all fleshless, and you're like, and she still is incomplete. I mean, that they are definitely. If you thought Skinless Frank was a great creation in the first movie, this is definitely an example of they go way harder in this one.
Skinless Julia is so beautiful and so wet.
Yeah.
I did literally exclaim as I was watching this, look at how wet she is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a damp movie with damp with many a different kind of fluid. Yeah, this is a gooey franchise in general. And this one in particular, I mean, once again, they have more money, and those are the parts where I like that they lean. They clearly, the prosthetics guys and stuff are like, oh, we've got all the resources to play with.
Wait a minute, we have a budget now?
Yeah, because the final version of Chenard is also fucked up and weird, and the weird like so wires across his face and stuff, and then he's got the tentacles that have blades coming out of them. With
the stop motion animation on them. Oh, it's so good.
That's why a lot of my experience watching this movie is like, that looks cool. I have no idea what's going on, but that looks cool.
Yeah, it is, like you said earlier, it is definitely a movie where you kind of have to just really just fall into how weird and fucked up everything looks.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much the movie.
I will say, I was watching this earlier today, as I always do. Like I said, these are definitely early morning movies. It's just the only time I can watch them. But they were also doing apartment inspections, and I kept waiting. Like, they're gonna walk in at the gooeyest, nastiest thing without knocking. They didn't, but I was just waiting for. Like, they're like, "What the fuck is on your screen?" I also went like, "I'm also just gonna have to turn it off. I can't pause it at any point here."
Oh.
If somebody comes in, there's no good pause in this movie.
No good
All of it makes me look like the biggest sicko in the world. At every turn, there is some skinless, gooey bullshit that's going on or whatever.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot. I will say, the gore is definitely up tier. Like, the first one had a lot of gooey stuff. This one has more active gore, I think. There's more like spurting blood around and stuff.
Yeah, there's more spurting blood. There's more like blood seeping from things into things.
Yeah. There definitely is, like, whatever. They took the problematic things people had on that, and they were like, "You thought that was bad?"
Yeah.
But what's
interesting? You see what we do with more money.
What I think is interesting is this one didn't get as many of the people because they are just like, I guess that's what they do now. Like, I mean, that's sort of what these movies become. However shocking they start out as, eventually it just becomes like, oh, yeah, that's Hellraiser.
Yeah. as Hellraiser.
It's like, what were we going to be mad again? We already protested. They don't seem
stop,
they don't seem to be stopping. So we'll get to, I have the Siskel and Ebert clip, which we'll get to later, that has a great thing about Ebert talks about people being desensitized to gore and how he, this damn culture we're in, that he's saying in 88, oh, Raj, you don't know how bad it'll get. Because one of the things that's interesting is I'm also doing the Meet the Slasher series, and we're just starting that out as we're recording this. And one of the things we keep saying about the first maybe 4 or 5 movies is very little blood in them. The first, Texas Chainsaw Massacre shows very little blood. Psycho shows essentially none. Even something like The Hills Have Eyes, it's very creepy ideas of what's happening, but you're not actually seeing a lot of body parts and stuff. And even this movie, as gory as it is, and this is gorier than the last one, I think I have no doubt the later ones will just really lean into it much more, because eventually that kind of becomes all they have, right?
Yeah, but even then, Inferno, I remember is tries to be nastier, but kind of in a grimy 90s way more than anything.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, Deader and Hellseeker, I don't remember that much, but I don't think they're particularly gory. Deader, if I'm remembering correctly, is way too dark to see shit most of the time.
Well, that becomes a problem, unfortunately, in film
with a lot of movies. Yeah,
that becomes the thing where it's like, hey, we have digital cameras, we don't need lights. You maybe wanna. I love that now. The complaint I hear from people is movies are too bright. You can see too much.
I don't know. I've never had that problem with a movie.
No, because I know that's
movie. They're all too dark.
That's the thing about people talking about the Netflix effect and everything's just too clear, and I'm like, I'm okay with that actually.
I mean, I would love there are some shots in this movie lighting wise that I'm like, this is a lost fucking art. It feels like at this point.
Both of these I've really enjoyed as just a fan of. 80s horror has such a specific vibe. The prosthetics, the lighting. I mean, this definitely makes sense to me. This guy worked on Escape from New York, because Carpenter movies look like this and stuff. And the 90s eventually becomes a whole different thing. And then the 2000s is one of the worst decades for horror ever. There is so much
which we will
garbage.
See with it. It's really nice that this franchise spans over
every era,
4 decades.
Yeah, it's basically
you really get to see the filmmaking
faux
pas.
I feel like that will be
outlined.
That will be the Halloween franchise on the slashers, I think, for us.
Yeah,
that thing really spans from the 70s to now,
all the way to the 2020s.
Yeah, where you get now it's tight continuity and arcs, and it's a whole thing.
Thing.
Can I say I love I always read the taglines on Meet the Monsters, and this one I love. They'll tear your soul apart again. That's
they're gonna keep tearing your soul apart till you can't stand it anymore.
I think they've done it. I don't think there's any soul left by the time I get to movie 10.
Christ,
how much more soul do you need, Pinhead? My God, I love Doug Bradley in the documentaries. Every time I see an interview with him where he's just like, he just was like. They said, "You want to come back?" I was like, "Okay, yeah,
sure."
And he was talking about the makeup, and he goes, "I don't mind wearing the makeup in the scenes when we're doing the scenes. What I hate is when we're waiting around for the camera setups. Then I hate the makeup." And there's something funny to me that's always the idea of him just sitting there in the full thing, being like, "Hey, are they almost ready?" Hey. Because it's true.
I'm imagining those behind the scenes shots from Lord of the Rings where Ian McKellen is on his laptop in full Gandalf, browsing the web.
I love
Pinhead on his pager.
Yeah, Come on, could you get me anything where I don't have to wear pounds of makeup? You know, and I would imagine on this one, because there's so much more special effects, probably he's waiting around even more than the last one. And he's in it.
Yeah.
Once again, he's in it a bit more. He's still not
a little bit, not a ton.
I do like also in the documentary, the other actors being like, why didn't we get to be on the posters? It's always just Doug.
It's always Doug. That's so funny. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Well, because especially
it's squad goals.
Yeah, especially on these early ones where he is really just one of them. It does feel like both the first movie and this movie, the poster is just him. The only person on them at all is Doug.
Like he is the lead Cenobite, but female Cenobite, Cadaver and Butterball are there too.
Did female Cenobite die in this movie? Can they die is another question.
Well, so right, that's the fucking thing.
Because I mean, like obviously,
ostensibly they die because the Chenard Cenobite gets them, and they revert to their human their pre-Cenobite selves upon death.
Right.
But then when in your classic Jason rising from the lake scene at the end, the spinning torture block comes up and it's all their faces on it, and so who the fuck knows? But then the third movie will provide us with the answer. No, they cannot die. They will return.
That's another thing that I think hurts these horror franchises is not only
somehow Pinhead has returned.
Not only do they keep getting defeated, they keep getting brought back, which is almost just like, then what was the point of any of this? If it's just this cycle that keeps going. When we did Meet the Monsters back when the Universal days, when we first started, I love that, like, by movie 2 or 3, they just straight up have the Wolfman go, I guess I can't die.
Like,
just like, I don't know. Turns out I can't die. So, what's that? I can be in 100 of these? Okay. Like, I don't.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I've tried.
Checks keep clearing.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. People went. All right. I'm back. Yeah. It is just. I mean, of course, that becomes such an annoyance of every slasher. Friday the 13th being, of course, the ultimate example is like, okay, we got to spend the first 15 minutes of the movie explaining why he's back after, and you're just like, oh my God, the litany of things. I mean, nothing will beat the pole into him and then the lightning hitting the pole. And the lightning,
like it's fucking Frankenstein's monster.
It all just really worked out kind of perfectly right there. A lot of things had to come together for that.
Dumbass had to dig him up in the middle of a lightning storm.
Yeah,
it's just all coming up. It's all coming up, Jason.
It really is, yeah. Back again, sure, why not? I always just thought, like, we have one of these that ends with them not killing. Like, there was, you're going to make another one. I always said that about the Hammer Dracula movies too, because every Hammer Dracula movie had to start with, oh no, but luckily, or unluckily for the characters of the movie, this cult member of Dracula saved just a little bit of the ashes that was left of him and opened a spell book and whatever. Or, oh no, I have Dracula's signet ring, which I can use to, oh my God.
Something,
and now he's back. It's just like... Why do we even try? It's. I just thought, like, leave him alive at the end of one of these. You're making another one. Nope, no. We always have to close the loop and then open it again. It's wild to me. And yeah, that's where I'm down with this, because this does feel. The ending of this one feels like, okay, now you're done, right? Well, except for there is the little bit at the end, which is a whole. Oh my God, because of course, but that almost feels like the studio going like, you gotta put in just a little bit there, right?
Just
because this is our nightmare. This is our.
It has to be.
Yeah. Because I mean, I will say I'm glad they don't keep dragging Kirsty through these at least, because she walks away at the end in some level of happiness, I guess.
Yeah, she and Tiffany. Okay, the Tiffany thing is crazy because that's not her name, but I don't think we ever discover what her name was before she came
No.
to. It's so funny to me when Kevin, or whatever the fuck his name is, the
Oh,
doctor
Kyle.
dies. Kyle.
Kyle is such a nothing in this movie.
Such a nothing.
You just need a guy to do some stuff.
We need a guy. We need to corroborate Kirsty's story.
Yeah.
So Kyle has to be witness to Julia coming back to life and just be like Homer Simpson backing into the hedge, like, I'm gonna go.
Because there were several times in the movie that
crazy.
Kyle would show up again. I'm going like, oh right, you're still in this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle.
Oh, but Kyle is like, yeah, Tiffany's not her name, but we renamed her. Like,
yeah.
And I guess you do learn that, like, her mom brought her, and then Dr. Chenard, like, seemingly did some weird experiments on her mom because, again, his life's mission is to solve the puzzle. And so when someone came to him being like, hey, my daughter won't stop solving puzzles, he was like, jackpot.
Hello. Yeah, we better get her committed right away.
Can you help her? No, because whatever's wrong with her is way more interesting.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? Is you think of these places and like, wouldn't her mom be like, hey, any updates? Is she getting better? Nope.
Nope. Well, that's because she's probably dead.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I guess that would be the unclear.
But also,
whatever gets us here is all that matters to this movie.
Again, right? It's even though it's a some sort of board accredited hospital.
Yeah, is anybody checking on that?
What's going on? Yeah,
no.
I know that people have had like experiences in those kinds of places that are very bad, but like,
yes, no question.
To this degree, it feels a little like, okay.
Well, because this always goes back
to,
I mean, this is, once again, we talk about, yes, as a movie trope, maybe it's not overdone, but I mean, this is fucking Lovecraftian stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The idea of the spooky asylum is as old as the hills, you know?
Yep.
I mean, you know, even Batman comics using Arkham Asylum was a nod, you know, like it's
that's true.
It's like it's just been around forever. That idea that it does feel, and also it's it's so cartoonishly. It appears to there's no one else being like, hey, Chenard, are you up to some weird shit in there, man? Like, where are the other doctors other than Kyle? There appears to be two guys running this place.
Right? Like, I don't remember, like, because, like, there are people who, like, the most of the dehumanized patients are on the maintenance floor. Like, were there orderlies down there? Or is it just free for all?
Hey, man, as long as the check clears, I don't ask questions.
Yeah.
I mean, we are definitely, not that the first one didn't have its goofy moments, but it definitely is getting wilder here. And the idea, the thing that, once again, this is but 2 of 11, indicates we're on a trajectory here. I'm going to play this now. Let's check in with what Gene and Roger thought of this. This is a clip from a 1988 episode of Siskel and Ebert. These are their thoughts. Spoiler alert, they might not care for the movie.
The movie is the story of a descent into a different kind of hell, a hell reserved only for the very, very, very bad movies. The name of the film is Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and I guess it's more or less a continuation of the original hit film Hellraiser. Actually, though, it plays more like a compact disc than it does like a movie, especially if you have one of those CDs that you can program in any order. The scenes in this movie could also be played in any order, and it wouldn't make much difference. In the film, 2 adolescent girls are trapped inside some kind of an insane maze populated by the most horrifying figures out of their imaginations. Nothing makes any sense to them or especially to us. Nightmares seem connected to a sort of supernatural Rubik's Cube, which when you twist it the wrong way, sends you on a toboggan slide into hell. I love the names of the characters in this movie, by the way. They're named Kirsty and Tiffany. I love them because this is another one of those movies where they say the names way too often, over and over again. Kirsty, Tiffany, Tiffany, Kirsty, Kirsty, Tiffany, over and over. Just until the audience is almost tempted to start shouting Tiffany and Kirsty back at the screen, if only to break the monotony.
Or to continue it.
Or to continue the monotony. Good point. The problem here is that there was no discernible beginning, middle, or end to this nightmare, just a series of disconnected and gruesome scenes. It's the kind of film where the theater doesn't need to print the running times. They don't have to put that in the newspaper because you can walk in anywhere and have more or less the same experience. The technical credits are good, but I really think they should have gone to the trouble of providing us with a story.
I want to focus on one word that you mentioned, which is gruesome. I mean, this film could be actually titled Skinned Alive. I mean, you see enough blood and bare skin, or the sublayer of skin to then, you know, in a butcher shop. I mean, it's fairly repellent as these kinds of things go. We're sort of inured to it. We see this stuff all the time, but at the same time, buckets of blood.
It does set some kind of a record. You know, images like this in medieval times were the stuff of Hieronymus Bosch paintings, and people were absolutely horrified. Now it's just fodder for public entertainment, and kids go in and look at people flayed alive and dripping their organs all over the place, and they just laugh at it. No images seem to have any power anymore.
No, these are repeated quite often.
There you go. There's Gene and Roger clutching their pearls.
Yeah, I was about to say, the pearl clutching gets a little,
Ebert's initial issues, all valid. like his initial issues.
Listen,
as a story, it's a mess.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool when the people were skinned. I don't know what to tell you.
It looks... See, that's the thing, is like... I don't know. Nobody's saying, like, you know, EMTs are seeing blood and guts and horrifying scenes every day, and it's ruining society. Like,
yeah, well, because it's. Okay. I mean, the other thing about this too, it's so far from the realm of reality, too, that I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. Is like nobody's looking at skinned Julia and being like, that's how a person sure would look.
No, of course not. It's so it leads it into the realm of the absurd, right, or the cartoonish, and you know, it's an interesting thing where, because one of the things I talked to my sister, always accuses me of being profoundly broken because I'm not affected by these movies, and she's like, nothing seems to bother you. I said, like, you know, the movies that do get to me more are something like Saving Private Ryan or something, where the violence is portrayed as real, like, and that's ugly. In a way. Those are the ones where, I mean, maybe I'm not like vomiting, but I am like, oh fuck, you know, like that guy. Those are whereas something like this, you can't even comprehend what's happening to these people. It doesn't make any physical sense to me, you know, like
it's not how any of it would, like, Kirsty at the end puts somehow, again, who's to say when this happened, found Julia's skin and put it on and was able to convince Dr. Chenard that it was Julia. Like, of course not.
I do like that this movie actually just straight up addresses something we mentioned on the last episode, which is like, how did the blood bring Frank back? And then in this movie, when they're recapping it, they do just say somehow Frank. It's like, oh, okay, even you guys didn't bother to figure it out. Great.
Like, there's a leap you could make that, like, that is the room where he died, ostensibly.
Yeah.
So like with Julia dying on the mattress, there could have, I mean, we did see like a weird beating heart, so like it's not like, you know, whole free.
Right.
But like you could, like, oh, that's where he died. There's some remnant of him there, possibly that could have, like, with the mattress. But
I
again,
just
like,
really laughed
it doesn't
at,
make
like,
sense,
oh wow,
so I don't know why they tried to, like,
somehow, you know, I mean, it's Frank, it's Palpatine. Somehow these guys are coming back. But I do love the whole thing with the mattress in this too, where they're like, and hey, Chenard, stop messing around with that mattress.
Yeah, you have to destroy the mattress. And Chenard's like, hey, I would love to not destroy that
Yeah,
mattress. If
I
you
need
could
it
bring it by my place
for reasons.
for reasons like medical ones. And the
Yeah.
police are like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, he is
Sounds
a
good.
doctor, so I guess we have to bring him a bloody mattress from a crime scene. Because
Yeah.
I do like that this movie does open with guys like looking at the crime scene of the last movie too. Like, what the fuck happened in here?
What the fuck?
I will say this one definitely, because something we talked about in the last one, for as British as these movies are, and I think with the next one we're firmly leaving England. Like we're
we're
all American.
100% in New York.
Yeah.
We could not be more American. We're in the Big Apple, baby.
But it is interesting to see this movie once again, where everybody's like, even though we're still filming in England stuff, everybody's just like, "Hey, what in the hell is going on in here?"
Yeah, and the police officer is shooting the corpse 5 times. Like, okay, this. I think we're in America.
Yeah, yeah. It's like what? Yeah, it's that. But it is interesting because like I said, I was watching it going like, man, where's Pinhead? Not out of, but I think honestly, I think a lot of the audience was legitimately asking, where's Pinhead?
Where's
Pinhead?
Pinhead?
He's on the, and of course, then Clive Barker's going, his name's not Pinhead.
I know.
Well, Clive, it is. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm sorry. I love you. I love that you hate that name,
Yeah.
but art doesn't exist in a vacuum.
There is something
changes.
funny about the guy who made, the last movie and at least some involvement in this movie was like, no, that's silly. Well,
you named one of them Butterball.
Yeah, Butterball and Chatterer, and then you have a bunch of pins in a guy's head. But if you call him Pinhead, well, now that just makes it silly. Take this seriously. Come on.
To be loved is to be changed.
Yeah. It's a wild movie, but I do think it does feel like these two are of a piece, and now we're about to head into a whole different world.
We're about to go completely off the rails,
Yeah.
and we will not get back on them until the reboot.
Yeah, the reboot is, I think, the only time that anyone tries to Barker it up again.
Yeah.
That they were very clear about that. Even all right, let's take a look here at some highs and lows, as I often do. Oh, well, actually, before that, I forgot to do this on the last one, which is the box office for these things. Hellraiser 2 came out in 1988. 1988 worldwide box office. Let's see. This movie ultimately made... Where is it here? Oh, God, a lot of horror sequels came out this year. Nightmare on Elm Street.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, the Dream Master came out, and Return of Michael Myers came out in '88. This was definitely the heyday of. They Live came out, which is not a sequel, but it's just a great.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Carpenter, yeah. Let me see. How much did this thing make? Because these were, at least these first two were fairly inexpensive.
Right. Again, like pretty low budget, all things considered.
Worldwide gross. Okay, so this thing made about $12 million. All right, there it is. Where do you think that landed it in the top 200? I'll tell you this: the number one movie of 1988 was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
great movie.
Great
Still
movie.
holds up. Nobody's ever really done anything as wild and like
cool.
that movie is incredible.
And interesting.
Yeah. Once again, I'm always one of the things when I go back and look at these, how weird and different movies were in the top 5. So Who Framed Roger Rabbit was number 1. That made $238 million. Then Rain Man was number 2. Like,
ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the idea that people were like, oh, Tom Cruise and his autistic brother was like, we all have to go see it. That makes no sense now.
The fact that Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a cartoon live action noir film, is the number one movie of 1988.
Yeah. And then Coming to America. Eddie Murphy's Coming to America is number 3, and then Big, and then Twins. People forget Schwarzenegger, DeVito.
Yeah.
That was huge. So where do you think Pinhead landed in the top 200?
Top 200.
Yeah.
12 million.
About 12 million.
I'm gonna say close to 100. I'm gonna say like 90.
Okay, pretty close. 80. Just after the amazingly titled casual sex? Question mark? I don't know
Casual
what that
sex?
is actually off the top of my head, but I love the idea that it was just called casual sex.
Well, casual sex is when people will have intercourse, but like there's not really like.
Elliot, I'm fairly. I think I can understand the concept of it. I don't know what the movie is, but I love that it as a question. I love any title as a question mark. Casual sex.
Casual sex.
And just it made a slightly more than the Canon Films martial arts masterpiece that is Bloodsport. Now there was a double feature for you. Watch Hellbound and Bloodsport.
Do that Bloodbound
Yeah, there you go.
that all the kids are raving about.
Yeah, that's a different kind of. That's a sweaty movie. That's a wet movie in a different way. That's a lot of
Less blood.
less blood, but still a lot of blood, but a lot
Okay,
of
I was gonna
sweaty
say,
Van
it's
Damme.
called Bloodsport.
A lot
so
of
there should be some
dripping
blood in it.
Van Damme there.
Okay, I'll be right
And
back.
we recently watched that on the action shelf. You also get Van Damme in bikini briefs in it, which is, I mean, that takes a confidence. I just got to say to rock that, and he's more than happy to show off
Yeah,
whatever
I
he's
was gonna say,
got.
if anyone has the chops and then also the chops to pull it off,
Yeah,
Van Damme.
yeah.
It's 80s Van Damme.
Oh yeah, I mean that was where it's like I will show my ass. That's not a question. That's it will happen.
Or
That's
if
an
you
order.
don't let me show
Yeah.
my ass in this movie,
Yeah.
I will kickbox you to death.
All right, here we go. These are the highs and lows. This comes to us from CMR Keyboardist, who titles their review, maybe slightly hyperbolic, "The best horror movie ever." This movie is quite simply the best horror movie I have ever seen. The movie is flawless in every way as far as I'm concerned. I first saw this movie back in the theaters when I was just about 9. Yikes on that one. My parents got me into the theater.
How did you... Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember being blown away. This, by the way, I would not have wanted to see this at 9. I was a little scaredy cat kid.
no.
I think both of us have talked about that. Yeah. It wasn't like I was watching, I would want to watch Bloodsport as a kid, but this would have been too scary stuff I wasn't doing as a kid.
Like, I'm trying to think of 9 years old. This is a little earlier than 9, but like, I was afraid every time the ring wraiths came on screen in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like,
if things got anything that might be remotely spooky was just too much for me as a kid. For sure.
I was behind the couch,
Yeah.
out of the room.
Yeah. This installment was not directed by Clive Barker like the first one, but it was directed by Tony Randall and starring much of the same cast from the first. This film takes off where Hellraiser 1 leaves off and throws you into a world of gothic horror, self-mutilation, betrayal, and at times, I think, has a Shakespearean undertone. Okay? I mean,
Interesting.
Shakespeare
take.
wrote enough plays that you could make that argument. I will say. Just like,
One
well,
of them, certainly.
yeah, sure. The film moves at an interesting pace.
I agree with.
Yeah. As the first half of the movie introduces some new characters, some interesting plot twists, it really tends to pick up the last 45 minutes of the movie as the Cenobites bring you into their world, which to this day still gives me nightmares. I think the most original thing about the movie is the Channard character, who in the second half of the movie is probably the most terrifying character to ever appear on the silver screen. I wouldn't go that far, but he does look cool.
He does look cool and scary.
I highly recommend this film to anyone who likes any type of horror. You won't be disappointed. 10 out of 10 stars. I mean, I'm glad they enjoyed
that
it.
far,
Yeah.
but I do also think that like it's something like I was watch it.
Yeah.
Watch the movie.
Oh.
It's interesting.
I mean, I will absolutely say
At the
watch
very
it because I think these first two have some interesting new ideas, and we're not yet, beating a dead horse here. So I definitely think, there's still enough interesting ideas in this one, and particularly in design, that everybody is still here
and,
for
like,
very sincere reasons. Like everybody's trying, everybody's very creative.
Very creative. It's still unique in like enough ways that it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get a low opinion coming to us from Chameleon Crow. Title is simply Incoherent Mess. A worthy sequel. Better than the original. a great horror movie. To those people who shared these sentiments, I'd like to ask you, what movie were you watching and what drugs were you on? This movie is an utter incoherent mess of a nightmare. I consider myself to be a person who is very generous with compliments, especially when it comes to movies, and I especially like my horror movies with extra gore. And I loved the original Hellraiser, but this sequel is just terrible in every aspect. First of all, the direction of the film is horrible, with scenes and sequences that are just messily and illogically slabbed together, and illogical actions by the characters, even for a horror movie. The plot is as plain and simple as a blank piece of paper, which is only prolonged by the seemingly never-ending wanderings of two poorly built characters with a rational motivation in the corridors of hell. It seems like the story is simply made up along the way as the movie progresses, with rules suddenly changing, a reflection of a weak foundation. The special effects were a significant step down from the original, even though there were more attempts at it in this sequel. The effect with Dr. Chenard looked especially cheap, even for the 80s. This movie totally destroys what I feel made the first Hellraiser successful, which is the mystique and the darkness of the Cenobites and the box. By overexposure of hell, and by over-revealing the secrets of the Cenobites, such as how one becomes a Cenobite, this takes away the mysterious, menacing factor to them and makes them almost vulnerable. What were once strong, menacing characters are now just confused children with amnesia. And then some scenes are just corny and lame, such as Kirsty wearing Julia's skin, which is a weak attempt at a twist, and the lame attempt at a cool ending with the pointless rotating post scene. Whether you're a fan of the Hellraiser series or not, I can't seriously believe that a person could say that he or she thinks this movie is even close to being decent. Quite possibly the worst sequel of all time, this movie alone could decimate the entire Hellraiser franchise. 1 out of 10 stars. Another couple of valid points, but pretty hyperbolic.
Couple of valid points, but yeah, again, yeah, pretty hyperbolic. Like, and listen, I don't know if this reviewer had seen any of the other ones, and maybe that's a bias point on my part.
Yes.
But I don't know, if you're gonna watch this Hellraiser sequel, it should just be this one.
Well, because I said this one, there's still stuff to talk about. There's still ideas here. We're not, like I said, it is not as good as the first one, but it definitely still feels like these are people trying who care.
Yes, sincere. There's a sincerity here.
Yeah,
like
this is still made by people who worked on the first one, who have care for the universe, who know Clive Barker. It's written by a collaborator of his. It's directed by the guy who edited. This is all still working. I think eventually it will be the only person like that will be Doug Bradley, who, let's face it, is always great, but at a certain point is like, where's that check? Yeah. Can I have my money
As evidenced by his presence in everyone's favorite, critically acclaimed film, oh my god.
Which one?
The one with the cannibal Hicks.
Oh,
Wrong Turn 5.
Wrong Turn 5. You got it. Yeah, Wrong Turn. Well, we'll be doing those over on
Yep.
Slashers. I didn't. To me, a sign of any like horror legend just taking the money is anytime you do an anthology show, and I feel like Doug Bradley's Spine Chillers is a good example.
Ooh.
They all did that, where it's like Vincent Price's Creepy Tales, Boris Karloff's Spooky Stories. Like, they all just kind of slap their names on a thing, going like, I'll take money.
I would love some money.
Yeah.
You need me to say some shit at the beginning for 5 minutes at the beginning and the end?
And I can shoot all 10 in one sitting.
Right now.
Here we go. What do we got? Bing, bang, boom. Okay, bring it up on the teleprompter. Let's go. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking. Doug Bradley has done other things, but if you look at his career, it is like Hellraiser, like TV guest spot Hellraiser, TV guest spot Hellraiser, part in another, Clive Barker movie. He's not in Lord of Illusions.
No.
But he is in Nightbreed.
Yeah.
Because that's right after this. It's one of those where you want to talk to him and say, did you think you'd do 8 of these things? I doubt it. I really
doubt it.
Really, really doubt it. He does a lot of voice work too, which makes sense.
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
even without the like, pinhead effects.
Holy shit! I never watched Gotham Knights because it looked like an abomination, and as a Batman fan, I can't. But I will say, Doug Bradley plays Joe Chill, which is the guy that killed Bruce's parents.
Oh, damn!
Interesting. I don't. Okay. That fascinates me. Anyway, yeah, I just saw that and that made me. He's in The Exorcists, which is Asylum's knockoff of Exorcist. Yeah, with subspecies star Denise Duff.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway,
Delightful.
Hey, get that money, and I'm sure he's at a convention near you sometime soon. Get that money, man, honestly. He will happily write down, "We have such things to show you" on an 8x10. I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Well,
don't cry, Doug.
Yeah.
It's a waste of good suffering.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. If you want to hear more from us, including our bonus investigations into other Clive Barker films, which will be coming out soon over on the Patreon, which is patreon.com/punchup, that's punchupent. There's also, if you're a horror fan, there's lots of good horror content on there, including our mini-series about the films of Peter Cushing and Vincent Price that I did with the Jones Boys. So you can listen to those. Check that out. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications. You don't want to miss this because things are... I feel like things are about to be bad for us, but people are going to love when we talk about bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the worse the movie, the more I hear people go like, that one was great.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's just the life of an entertainer, the life of a commentator.
It kind of is. People still talk about the best episode of Meet the Monsters being a movie called The Boy Who Cried Werewolf, which is just like an absolute piece of garbage 70s TV movie that we fucking hated, and people are like, it's the funniest you guys ever were. And we're like, oh, all we remember is how much we hated the movie, but people are like, that episode's so funny, it's a classic. Anyway, all right, so next week on the show it will be Clive Barker presents Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth. And I'll leave you here with the tagline, which is, what started in hell will end on Earth.
Boo. And
by the way, no, it won't. It absolutely will never end.
No, we have.
Because I have no doubt
to show you.
I have no doubt that we will end up with another Hellraiser movie within the next 5 years. Like, I don't know what that will be, but somebody will pick this up. These things never die. They can't.
No.
They're already talking about doing another Halloween.
Christ. I mean, again, like I'm not actually surprised, but it's just like
I just like we just did this giant trilogy reboot thing that literally was called Halloween
Ends. Only one of them was actually good.
But it's like, but the whole thing was like, and now it's over, and they're just like, whatever, we'll just start a new continuity because God knows that franchise has
fuck it.
Some fucked up continuity. God, the Halloween franchise is so weird. The amount of alternate realities within the Halloween franchise is crazy.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Jamie Lee Curtis has 3 distinct children in 3 distinct timelines.
Yeah, it's so wild. Anyway, and hey, listen to Meet the Slashers when it comes out because we'll get into all of that. But that's going to do it for this week's IP Squad. Until next time, the case file is closed.